The jungle was quiet, but Evan could hear his own heavy breathing. His ship had crashed only hours ago. Smoke still rose from the broken metal behind him. He looked around carefully. Strange tall trees with glowing leaves surrounded him. The air smelled sweet, but there was danger in every sound. Evan touched his side where a sharp branch had cut him during the crash. Blood dripped slowly. He needed help, fast. But this was not Earth. This was an alien world. As he stepped forward, he heard a soft laugh. A voice, gentle but teasing, spoke from behind a large rock. "You are lost, and your thoughts are very strange." Evan froze. He turned slowly and saw her. An alien girl stood there. Her skin was smooth and soft, shining like blue silk. Her long hair glowed with a faint silver light. Her large golden eyes stared right into his soul. She was beautiful, more beautiful than any human girl he had ever seen. But how did she know what he was thinking? Evan felt embarrassed. He had just imagined for a moment how pretty she looked. He didn't mean to think like that in a dangerous situation. "Wait, how did you?" Evan began, confused. She smiled, her lips curving into a playful smirk. "You thought I was beautiful, and then some dirty thoughts too," she said, tilting her head. His face turned red. I'm sorry. I didn't mean." Before he could finish, she stepped closer and laughed softly. "Don't apologize, human. I hear everything. Your thoughts are loud, and funny." Her voice was smooth, almost musical. Evan felt nervous, but also curious. Who was this girl? Why was she alone in this strange jungle? "My name is Evan," he said finally. "Who are you?" "I am Liara," she replied, with a graceful bow. "And this is my world. But right now, it is a dangerous place." Her golden eyes sparkled with mischief as she added, "I can hear your fear too. You wonder if you can trust me. And yet you keep thinking about how pretty I am. So confusing, human." Evan laughed nervously. "You're reading my mind?" "Yes," Liara said simply. "It is easy for me. You think so loudly." Then she became serious. Her smile faded just a little. "You should not stay here. You must come with me." Evan hesitated. Why should he trust an alien girl who could read his thoughts? But he had no choice. He was injured, and she seemed friendly even. If she teased him too much? "Where are we going?" he asked. Liara pointed towards the thick jungle trees. "My sanctuary. It is hidden. You will be safe there. But hurry. Others may have seen your crash." As they started walking, Liara stayed close to him. Sometimes she would glance at him and giggle. Evan realized that every time he worried or thought something silly, she could hear it. He tried to control his thoughts, but it was impossible. The more he tried not to think about her beauty, the more he did. "You are funny, human," Liara teased again. "Your mind is like an open book, and I like reading it." Evan smiled, even though he was still embarrassed. As they walked deeper into the jungle, Evan noticed strange plants glowing in different colors. The trees whispered softly as if they were alive. Bright birds with 6 wings flew overhead. It was beautiful but strange, and Evan felt like every shadow was watching him. Then Liara stopped suddenly and held up her hand. "Quiet," she whispered. In his mind, not with her voice. She turned her head slowly, listening to something far away. Evan felt a chill run down his spine. "What is it?" he asked quietly. Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Hunters," she said. "Not far, hunters." Evan's heart started racing. "They are looking for me, ... And maybe for you now," she explained. "That's why we must move quickly." Her playful smirk returned. "And stop thinking about kissing me right now, Evan," she added with a wink. Evan nearly tripped over a root. He hadn't even realized he was thinking that. "Come," Liara said. "Time for questions later. If we survive." She reached out and gently took his hand, leading him through the glowing jungle. For the first time since he crashed, Evan felt a strange feeling. excitement mixed with danger. And maybe a little bit of hope, even if she could read his mind. Maybe this alien girl was his best chance to survive. And as they disappeared into the jungle together, Liara's soft laugh echoed behind them, her smirk never fading. The jungle around them grew darker. Strange glowing vines hung from the trees, lighting the path just enough for Evan to see where he was walking. Liara moved ahead, light on her feet, almost floating through the jungle floor. But even as she led him deeper, Evan felt uneasy. Her teasing smirk, her golden eyes, and her mind-reading ability made him nervous and curious. He tried hard to think about escape plans or danger ahead. But every now and then, thoughts about how beautiful she looked kept popping into his mind. Liara laughed softly each time, without even turning back. Still thinking about me, human? You're very easy to read, she called out. Evan shook his head. Can't help it, he muttered under his breath. After walking for a long time, they arrived at a hidden place, a cave entrance covered by thick vines. Inside, the air felt cool and safe. Blue crystals shone from the cave walls, lighting up the space with a soft glow. In one corner, there was a small pool of clear water. Liara knelt beside the pool and dipped her fingers into it. The water shimmered at her touch. This is my sanctuary, she said. No one else knows about it. Evan sat down carefully, leaning against the wall. His legs still hurt from the crash, but the beauty of this place gave him a moment of peace. But then, he noticed something strange. Near the wall was a symbol carved into the rock, an alien crown, surrounded by stars. That looks important, Evan said, pointing at it. Liara turned to look at the symbol. For the first time, her smile faded. She looked almost sad. Do you want to know who I really am? She asked, her voice softer than before. Evan nodded. Yes. Please. Liara stood and walked slowly to the symbol. She touched it gently. I am not just any alien girl, she began. My name is Princess Liara, daughter of the High Queen of this planet. Evan's eyes widened. A princess? He whispered. Yes, she confirmed. But I ran away from the palace, my people. They wanted to use me. My gift reading minds makes me powerful, too powerful. She turned to face him, her golden eyes glowing softly in the dim light. They wanted me to control enemies, spy on everyone, even my own family, but I refused. So now, they hunt me. Evan felt a chill run down his spine. That's why those hunters are after you, Liara nodded. Yes, and because you met me, they will hunt you too. Her voice held a strange mixture of sadness and amusement. Evan sighed deeply. So I crash-landed on an alien planet. And now I'm stuck helping a runaway princess with mind-reading powers? Liara gave him a playful smile again. Yes, human. That's exactly your situation. Then she stepped closer, sitting next to him. You're not safe here either now, Evan, she said softly. But you have something special. Evan raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? You are brave, she whispered. Even your thoughts, messy as they are, show your courage. Evan felt a strange warmth inside, even though he didn't fully understand her. Why help me, though? He asked. Why not leave me? Liara smiled gently this time, not teasing. Because ... I like your thoughts, she admitted. They make me laugh, and I haven't laughed for a long time. There was a long pause between them. Only the sound of dripping water from the pool echoed in the cave. Suddenly, Lyra's head snapped up. Her eyes narrowed. They're close, she said quickly. The hunters. I can hear their thoughts, ... moving this way. Evan's heart began to pound again. Liara stood and held out her hand. We must go deeper into the cave. There's a path that leads out. But it's dangerous. Dangerous how? Evan asked nervously. Liara smirked again. Full of old machines. And maybe some ghosts. Of my ancestors, but it's better than being caught. Without waiting for him to decide, she pulled him up. Her hand was warm and soft, but strong. "Stay close to me, human, and don't worry," she added with a wink. "I already know all your secrets anyway." As they disappeared into the shadows of the cave, Evan felt his fear grow. But so did his curiosity. About Liara, what was she really hiding? And why did he trust her, an alien mind-reading princess, so easily? The cave became darker as Evan followed Liara deeper inside. The glowing crystals on the walls faded slowly, and strange echoes surrounded them. Every sound made Evan tense. He could feel danger coming, but what frightened him even more was Liara. Herself, she walked ahead, calm and sure. She wasn't just reading his mind anymore, she was playing with it. At one point, she suddenly whispered, "You're wondering what my lips would taste like." Right now, Evan jumped. He hadn't spoken a word. But yes, he had thought exactly that. Liara turned and gave him a wicked smirk. "Your thoughts are louder than your footsteps, human." Her teasing made him blush again, but it also made him forget his fear for a moment. Then she stopped. Ahead was a wide chamber inside the cave. In the center was something unexpected, a large stone table surrounded by strange, ancient machines. The machines hummed softly as if they were still alive. Even after all this time, on the table was a round, glowing object. Liara touched it gently. The object lit up more brightly, and symbols appeared in the air. Evan looked around nervously. "What is this place?" he asked. Liara's face became serious. "This is an old mind sanctuary," she explained. "My ancestors built it long ago to train mind readers like me." "But why here? Why now?" Evan asked. Liara turned toward him, her golden eyes glowing brighter than before. "Because I need to show you something," she said. "And because the hunters are closer than you think." Suddenly, Evan felt a sharp pain in his head. His vision blurred. The air seemed heavy. Liara had not touched him, but somehow he felt her inside his mind now, deeper than before. He heard her voice, but not through his ears. "Look," she whispered inside his head. "See what I see." And then, images flashed before his eyes, soldiers in black armor marching through forests. Strange ships flying over cities filled with alien life. Liara as a child, locked in a small room. Her mother watching coldly from behind glass. Liara screaming as her mind was forced to read thoughts of prisoners during a war. Evan gasped, stumbling backward. His head hurt, but his heart hurt even more. "I'm sorry," Liara said softly. "But you needed to know why they hunt me. Why I ran away." She stepped closer, kneeling beside him. "My gift is not a gift. It's a weapon to them. That's all I was to them." Her voice cracked a little at the end. Evan looked at her, really looked at her for the first time, not as an alien, not as a beautiful girl, but as someone who had suffered alone. He wanted to say something comforting, but before he could speak, Liara's eyes narrowed again. "They're here," she whispered. She pulled Evan behind the stone table quickly. Evan heard it, two now footsteps. Heavy, armored, coming fast. Liara closed her eyes and concentrated. "I can hear their minds," she said. "But they're trained. Their thoughts are dark, hard to read." Suddenly she smiled again, this time a dangerous smile. "But your mind, Evan, it's clear, warm, different from theirs." Even in this moment of danger, she teased him gently. "Stay close to me," she ordered, "and think happy thoughts. I need them." Evan laughed quietly despite everything. "Happy thoughts, right now?" "Yes," Liara whispered. "Your thoughts make me stronger." As the hunters stepped into the chamber, their black armor shining in the dim light, Evan focused hard. He thought about warm sunlight on Earth, about beaches, laughter, friends. He even allowed himself to think about Lyra's smirk again. And somehow, Liara grew stronger. She raised her hand, and a wave of blue energy spread out from her body, knocking the hunters backward. Evan watched in awe. "You're amazing," he whispered. Liara turned to him, her smirk back on her lips. "Yes, human," she said. "I am amazing. And you helped." But even as the hunters lay stunned, Lyra's expression turned serious again. "This is not over. More will come. We must keep moving," she said. As they ran deeper into the cave, Evan realized something strange and wonderful. Even though this place was dangerous, even though Liara could read all his embarrassing thoughts, he trusted her completely. And that was more terrifying and exciting than anything else. The tunnel finally ended. Evan followed Liara out into a strange open space. Before them stood the ruins of a once great city, tall stone towers broken and cracked, strange statues half buried in vines, and roads made of shining black stone that reflected the dim light from glowing plants. Evan could hardly believe what he was seeing. "Where are we?" he whispered. Liara smiled gently, but there was sadness in her golden eyes. "This is the Forbidden City," she said. "My ancestors built this long ago. It was a place of knowledge and secrets." Evan felt a shiver down his spine. The city felt empty but not dead. It felt like the shadows were watching them from every corner. As they walked between the broken statues, Liara spoke softly. "Many mind readers lived here once. This is where my people trained their greatest leaders and their deadliest spies." She stopped in front of a giant statue of a woman with glowing eyes. "That's my grandmother," Liara explained. "She ruled this planet with her mind. Alone, no one dared lie to her." Evan looked up at the cold stone face. It seemed like the statue was still watching them, even though it was cracked and old. Suddenly, Liara turned and teased him again, her smirk returning. "I can feel your thoughts, Evan," she said playfully. "You're wondering if I will become like her." Evan chuckled nervously. "Well, maybe," he admitted. Liara laughed lightly. "Don't worry. I prefer reading your silly thoughts over ruling a cold empire." But the moment of humor passed quickly. Liara's smile faded as she looked ahead. At the center of the city was a tall tower, half ruined, but still standing. "This tower holds a secret," Liara whispered. "If I can reach it before the hunters, we may survive. If not, everything ends here." Evan felt his heart beat faster. "Then let's go," he said bravely. He wasn't sure what waited inside that tower, but he didn't want to leave Liara alone. As they crossed a wide plaza, the air grew cold. Suddenly, Evan heard whispers, not from Liara but from everywhere. Ghostly voices, strange words, soft laughter, cries. He stopped. "What is that?" he asked. Liara looked back and nodded sadly. "The Forbidden City remembers," she explained. "It holds the thoughts of every mind reader who ever lived here." Evan felt a chill. It was like the city itself was alive and listening. They reached the base of the tower. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the door. Liara placed her hand on the door and closed her eyes. "The tower will open for me," she said. "It knows my blood and my mind." With a soft hum, the door slid open. Inside was a spiral staircase leading up, lit by soft blue light. "Come quickly," Liara said. "But remember, inside this place your thoughts may not stay private." Evan swallowed hard, as if they ever were private around her. As they climbed, Evan noticed the walls were covered in moving images. Each image showed scenes from Lyra's history: wars, peace, families, betrayals. One image made Evan stop. It showed a young Liara, crying alone in a small dark room. He reached out gently. "You were locked away?" he asked softly. Liara nodded without turning back. "Yes, to train me. To make my mind stronger than anyone else's." She paused and glanced over her shoulder, her eyes shining. "But now, I'm stronger than they ever imagined." At the top of the tower was a round room with a strange machine in the center. The machine looked ancient, but it was still alive, humming, glowing. "This is what the hunters want," Liara said. "The crown of thoughts." It can make one mind control many others. Evan felt his chest tighten. Are you going to use it? He asked quietly. Liara smiled, but this time it was a sad smile. I don't want to control anyone, Evan, she said gently. I just want to be free. Then she stepped forward and placed her hands on the machine. Suddenly, the air shimmered, and the hunters arrived. Black-armored soldiers rushed into the room, weapons raised. Their leader pointed at Liara. Come with us, princess. He shouted, Your mind belongs to the crown. Evan jumped in front of Liara without thinking. You'll have to get through me first, he said bravely, even though he knew he couldn't stop them. Liara laughed softly behind him. Such brave thoughts, Evan. That's why I like you. She closed her eyes. The machine began to glow brighter, and just before the hunters fired their weapons, a wave of blue energy filled the room, freezing them in place. Liara opened her eyes, her golden gaze shining like the stars. Welcome to my forbidden city, she whispered. The blue energy around them pulsed softly. Evan could hardly breathe as he looked at Liara standing tall beside the ancient machine. The black-armored hunters were frozen, unable to move, their weapons raised but useless. For a moment, it felt like victory. But then Liara's eyes narrowed. The machine's power is waking up the whole city, she whispered. Others will come, stronger hunters. We must leave now. Evan glanced at the machine. What about this thing? Won't they use it if we leave it here? Liara smirked. Don't worry, I set it to self-destruct. Even as she spoke, cracks appeared on the surface of the crown of thoughts. A deep hum filled the tower, and the walls began to tremble. Evan's eyes widened. Self-destruct? That means we must run, Liara finished for him. Grabbing his hand, without another word, they dashed down the spiral staircase. The walls of the tower glowed brighter with each step, and ghostly voices echoed louder than before, angry, sad, laughing all at once. But Liara didn't stop teasing as they ran. She said with a grin, I can hear your thoughts, Evan. You're wondering if holding my hand means we're a couple now. Even in this life or death moment, Evan blushed. Furiously, can you stop reading my mind for 1 second? He yelled, laughing nervously. No, Liara replied simply, her smirk never fading. Behind them, a loud crack split the air as the tower's roof began to collapse. They reached the bottom just in time and sprinted across the forbidden city's main plaza. But Evan suddenly froze when he saw them. New hunters, taller, heavier, faster. Their armor was red, not black. Their eyes glowed bright green, and their weapons hummed with deadly energy. They've sent the elites, Liara said quietly, her tone serious now. Evan's heart raced. What do we do? Liara tilted her head playfully. I still need your happy thoughts, Evan, she whispered. The stronger your mind feels, the stronger I become. Evan forced himself to focus. Even as the red-armored hunters aimed their weapons, he thought about his happiest moments on Earth, warm coffee on cold mornings, laughing with friends, walking under a bright sun, and yes, he even allowed himself to think about kissing Liara. Liara's smile widened immediately. Perfect, she said. Her body shimmered with blue light. With a wave of her hand, she sent a shockwave across the plaza, throwing the red-armored hunters backward. But more were coming, dozens of them. The jungle! Liara shouted. We must escape into the jungle. I know a secret path. They ran side by side, dodging falling stones and leaping over broken statues. Blasts of energy struck the ground around them as the hunters fired their weapons. Evan felt one shot burn close to his arm, but Liara pulled him forward faster. Her golden eyes glowed with joy and excitement, even in the chaos. She laughed as they ran. Your thoughts are still funny, Evan. You're imagining us sitting together, drinking tea after all this is over. Evan grinned breathlessly. Normal life sounds good right now. He called back. They reached the edge of the forbidden city where a thick wall blocked their path. Liara pressed her hand on a hidden symbol carved into the stone. A secret doorway slid open, revealing a dark tunnel leading down, quickly. She said. They rushed inside, and the door closed silently behind them. For a moment, there was quiet, just their breathing and the soft hum of glowing moss on the tunnel walls. Evan leaned against the wall, gasping for air. That was insane, he said. Liara smiled gently, stepping close to him. Do you regret following me, human? She asked softly. Evan looked into her glowing golden eyes and shook his head. Not at all, he replied. Then, as if reading his mind again, because she was, Liara whispered playfully, I know you're thinking about holding me close right now. Before Evan could answer, a rumble shook the ground. Liara's smile faded. They're still hunting us, she said. She reached out and took his hand again. Come, Evan, the chase isn't over yet. But I promise, if you survive this, I'll let you kiss me. And just like that, with danger behind them and flirtation between them, the chase began again. Deeper into the unknown, the tunnel walls glowed faintly as Liara and Evan moved deeper underground. Every step took them farther from the forbidden city, but Evan could feel the danger chasing them. He didn't need Lyra's mind-reading powers to know that. Liara walked ahead, her golden eyes glowing in the dim light. She held his hand firmly, guiding him quickly but carefully. As they turned a corner, the tunnel suddenly opened into a massive underground chamber. Evan gasped. In the center of the chamber was a giant ancient machine. It was unlike anything Evan had ever seen. It stood tall like a tower, made of shining metal that hummed softly. Blue lights flickered along its surface, and strange symbols glowed and shifted. At its base, a platform waited, almost like it was expecting them. Liara stopped and turned to Evan. This is it, she said softly. The heart of the machine. Evan frowned. What is this place? He asked. Lyra's smile was gentle but serious. This machine is older than my people, she explained. It was built by the first mind readers. It can amplify thoughts, make them stronger than any weapon. She stepped closer to the platform and ran her fingers over it. I came here once as a child, she whispered. The machine recognized me, chose me. Evan felt uneasy. So, are you going to use it? Liara turned to him, her golden eyes shining even brighter now. I must, she said. It's the only way to escape. The hunters won't stop until they have me, or until I'm dead. Evan hesitated. What will it do to you? Liara smirked, but her voice was softer than ever. It will connect my mind to everything around us. I will see everything, hear everything, and control everything. Evan stepped closer. That sounds dangerous. It is, Liara admitted. But there's no choice. Before Evan could say more, the ground shook violently. The hunters had found them. The far tunnel entrance glowed red as elite soldiers marched in, their weapons humming. Liara stepped onto the platform quickly. She looked at Evan and said calmly, I need you, Evan. Me? He asked, surprised. Yes, she said, smiling gently. Your thoughts, your feelings. They make me stronger. The machine listens to emotion as much as power. Your mind is different from theirs. Evan swallowed hard. His heart raced, not just from fear, but from something deeper. Even as the hunters surrounded the chamber, raising their weapons, Evan did what he could. He focused on every moment with Liara, her teasing smile, her golden eyes, her laughter. The way she held his hand. His mind was full of trust and hope. The machine glowed brighter. Lyra's body shimmered with light as she closed her eyes and connected herself to the machine fully. Suddenly, her voice filled the air, not with words, but inside everyone's mind. Stop, she commanded. The hunters froze, their weapons lowered slowly as if they were no longer in control. Evan stared in amazement. The heart of the machine was working, and Liara was at its center. But something was happening to her too. Her hair glowed silver now, and her skin shimmered like crystal. Her golden eyes opened and met Evan's gaze. "You gave me your mind, your thoughts, your trust," she said aloud now. "That's why this worked." Evan smiled. "You saved us," he whispered. Liara nodded, but her expression became serious again. "I can feel everything now, Evan," she said quietly. "The whole planet, every thought, every fear, every secret." She stepped down from the platform slowly. "I am stronger than I ever imagined," she admitted. "But—" She reached out and gently touched his face. "I still enjoy reading your thoughts the most," she whispered with a playful smirk. Behind them, the hunters dropped their weapons. Their minds cleared and peaceful now. Liara had not destroyed them. She had freed them. Evan felt a deep respect for her at that moment. She was powerful. Yes, but she had chosen mercy. And even with this power, she still teased him, still smiled, still cared. Suddenly, the ground shook again. But this time it wasn't the hunters. The ancient machine let out a loud hum and began to crumble. Lyra's eyes widened. "The machine is breaking down," she said quickly. "We must leave, now." Without hesitation, Evan grabbed her hand. "Lead the way, princess," he said with a grin. Lyra laughed softly. "Always thinking funny thoughts, Evan." "Good," she replied. They ran together as the chamber collapsed behind them, even as dust and debris fell. Lyra's voice filled Evan's mind again, soft and teasing. "If we survive this, you really can kiss me." The tunnel shook as Evan and Lyra ran through the dust and falling stones. Behind them, the ancient machine, the heart of the machine, was breaking apart, sending glowing blue sparks everywhere. Lyra held Evan's hand tightly, pulling him forward even as the ceiling cracked above their heads. Finally, they burst out of the tunnel into bright sunlight. Evan stopped, breathing hard. He looked around. They had escaped the Forbidden City. Above them, birds with 6 wings flew in circles. The jungle stretched out far and wide, and for the first time, it felt peaceful. But Evan could still feel his heart pounding. "Did we really escape?" he asked. Lyra smiled gently. Her golden eyes glowed softly in the sunlight. "Yes, Evan," she said. "We escaped." She looked back toward the ruined city. "The machine is gone. The hunters are free, my people. They will change now. Without the machine, no one can control minds anymore." Evan stepped closer to her. "So, what will you do now?" he asked. Lyra turned to him, her smirk returning, the same teasing smirk she always gave him. "I could go back to being a princess," she said playfully. "Or I could stay with the funny human whose thoughts make me laugh." Evan laughed. "And what does that funny human think?" he asked. Lyra closed her eyes for a moment and smiled. "I don't need to read your mind to know," she whispered. Then she opened her eyes and added, "But I am reading your mind anyway." Evan blushed again. He couldn't help it. He was thinking about kissing her. Lyra stepped closer. "You've been thinking about kissing me from the very beginning," she said softly. Evan laughed nervously. "That obvious, huh?" "Very obvious," she replied with a grin. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The birds sang above them. The jungle wind was warm and gentle. Then Lyra tilted her head and said, "Well, you earned it, human. You helped me escape. You helped me survive. You even shared your silly thoughts with me." Evan smiled. "Does that mean?" Lyra nodded. "You can kiss me now," she whispered. Evan leaned in slowly, and for the first time he wasn't embarrassed. He wasn't afraid of her reading his mind anymore. At the very last second, Lyra laughed softly and said, "I know what you're thinking. But yes, I want this too." Their lips met in a soft, sweet kiss. For the first time since crashing on this alien world, Evan felt completely at peace. When they pulled apart, Lyra's golden eyes sparkled. "I like your thoughts, human," she said. Then she looked toward the sky. "But your adventure isn't over yet," she added with a wink. What do you mean? Evan asked, confused. Suddenly, a huge shadow passed over them. Evan looked up, and his jaw dropped. A giant alien ship hovered above the trees, its engines glowing bright blue. A ramp lowered slowly. Liara smiled and held Evan's hand tighter. "That's my ship," she said calmly. "I may not want to be a princess anymore, but I still have a kingdom waiting somewhere out there." She looked at Evan seriously but playfully. "Are you ready for a bigger adventure, Evan?" Evan grinned. "Only if I can sit next to you." Liara laughed. "Of course, but be careful, human. I'll still be reading your thoughts." As they walked toward the ship together, hand in hand, Liara leaned close and whispered in his ear, "And by the way, your thoughts are still dirty." "I like that." Then she gave him one last smirk of victory as the ramp closed behind them, carrying them into the stars together.